Hello there. We're going to get started. Good evening, and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of February 25th, 2025. Ms. Brake, please call the roll.
Committeeman Britting.
Here.
Committeewoman Hand.
Here.
Committeeman Lapani.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Here.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Here.
Administrator Ferrera.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here.
Right. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, kids.
All right. Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on February 25th, 2025. Executive session, if deemed necessary, to begin at 6:30. There was no executive session. So we'll move on to the first item here is approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the reorganization meeting minutes of January 2nd, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there a roll call, please?
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 28th, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Abstain. Are you here?
Hold on a second.
No, you were here.
Oh, I was here
You
for
were
this
here.
one.
It was the one after
Yep,
you. Okay.
yep, it's the one after that. That's correct.
Sorry.
That's good.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Let's move on to reports from the committee liaisons, starting with Committeeman Britting.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back, cheerleaders. You guys seem to win every single year, which is awesome. So that means next year you have to win again, and again, and again,
We
and
love
again.
winning.
Right? That's awesome. Awesome. All right, so let's start with important health. All right, so free radon test kits are available. Radon is a colorless, odorless, radioactive gas formed from the breakdown of uranium and radon in rocks and soil that can build up in homes and get into the air that we breathe. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. See tomorrow's e-news for more information on receiving a free radon test kit from our health office. So you can actually go to the health office, pick one up, bring it back to your house, and make sure your house is safe from radon. Human resources. So we have a number of open positions in Hillsborough Township. We're currently recruiting for a various number of positions, and that includes Chief Financial Officer, Administrative Assistant in the Economic and Business Development Office, part-time assistant to the CFO in the Finance Department, part-time building maintenance position in the Public Works Department, part-time crossing guard in the Police Department, 2 full-time or part-time plumbing inspectors, full-time or part-time electrical inspector, full-time or part-time multi-licensed fire and electrical inspector in our construction department. You can visit the Hillsborough Township website or see the link in tomorrow's e-news to apply. And for those of you interested looking for a job with the township, we have a terrific leadership development program that Mr. Ferrer has been running for many, many years. And we once the employees of Hillsborough won a pretty significant award last year. And it's a really good thing for them. So it's a great place to work. So if you're looking for a gig, check it out. Recreation, 3D Printing and Modeling Club. Tap into your child's creativity with our hands-on 3D designing, modeling, and printing club. Limited spots are available because they go really fast in our rec department. Register now on the Recreation website. We also have summer camp registration, which is open. I know probably a lot of you girls have been to some of the different summer camps throughout the years. A lot of cool things that you can do. Keep your child active, parents, this summer by sending them to the Recreation Department summer camp. Recreation is open, so secure your spot today. And I mentioned earlier, it goes very quick. So spring programming has sprung. We have a variety of spring programs for all ages, from tennis and golf lessons to STEM and fitness classes. We like to try to make sure the gamut sports down to up to the STEM activities. Please check out our spring activities guide and register today. So 3 really great opportunities to get involved for the kids over the summertime. Social services. So a financial literacy workshop. So the Social Services Department is partnering with the MTA Foundation to present a financial literacy workshop on Tuesday, March 11, 2025, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I think that's a really great opportunity for those that may be interested in learning a little bit more about financial literacy and educating themselves on that part of the economy and just how they can help better themselves. And as it also relates to the Social Services Department, Hillsborough Township is a town that's been growing for the past couple of years, and the Social Services Department has done a fantastic job. So I just want to compliment them on the great job that they've been doing, supporting through the CAN and all the different other areas that they have. We try to put as many people as humanly possible first, and I think that one group within the township is really doing a really nice job. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman.
You got it.
Next is Committeewoman Hand.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. All right. Hope everyone had a wonderful President's Day. It seems like a very long time ago, all of a sudden. Also wanted to congratulate, besides all the awesome winners we have in the room, just wanted to congratulate the boys high school swim team. They were the Central Jersey sectional champions, so congrats to them. They also competed in the state. Yes, they do deserve a round of applause. And then they did also compete for the state championship, which they've not held since 2005. The outcome wasn't what Hillsborough wanted, but they were really strong competitors. And thank you to everyone who showed up over the weekend to send them off. Thank you to our police department for the escorts in and out of town. It really goes a long way, and thank you very much. Also, I'm just looking at things folks have mentioned. The other piece was around geese control. I know that was a topic that we've talked about in prior township meetings. There's been a lot in the news too around geese and dead geese here in Hillsborough. So I think that is a topic that we as a township should continue to address. Right now, we only have geese control at AVM, and I think it should be a consideration on what other parks we do that in. The other comments, I'm just looking at what I've heard from residents. The other piece was around LGBTQ plus support. So I know residents have reached out to really make sure that we as a township are supporting everyone within our town. I just want to say from the dais, I'm sure my colleagues would agree, that we are here to support all members of our community. Absolutely. And the other piece, Deputy Mayor Payne and I just raced here from another event where we welcomed 2 new paid firefighters. So congratulations to the families of Amen and Tim, who just joined our paid fire department. I'm sorry if I said police. Hopefully I said fire. You said fire. Okay, fabulous. As I'm looking at the police officers in the back. So 2 new firefighters, so congrats to them. And then last but not least, from a dog license perspective, you've got like 2 days, couple days left. So dog licenses, remember, the deadline is this Friday, the 28th, after which there's a $5 fee. And that's it. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman. Next is Committeeman Hand. Committeeman LaPanti.
Geez, stop being mayor and all the mistakes. That's okay. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Girls, congratulations. As Committeeman Britting said, we love winning, so keep winning. Come back. I know the mayor's going to talk about some of the stuff that Committeeman Hand just talked about, but yeah, the congratulations to the swim team. It's always great to see our kids excel both on athletic fields and in the classrooms. And more importantly, I think our high school excels in both, and all the teachers and the students deserve a round of credit for everything they do. Congratulations. All right, to some more mundane topics from building online payments. The building department offers online payments. If you cannot make it to the office during working hours, request a payment link and pay online at your convenience. That only goes for those people who actually use Zello and all that kind of techie stuff or whatever those tap act. I don't do that. I pay cash and check. I'm sorry. But we are in the digital age, but if you can use it, you're welcome. My daughter's probably laughing at me right now. It's all good. I'm not buying a home. The HBA 2025 Spring Networking Social, Hillsborough Business Association is hosting a networking event on March 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Iron Peak Sports Event. This event will focus on AI and how to utilize tools like ChatGPT to assist business owners with day-to-day operations. To register, please visit the Township website or contact the Economic and Business Development Office during regular business hours. Again, that's March 27th, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Iron Peak Sports Complex. The winter 2025 issue of Experience Hillsborough e-magazine is now live. The quarterly digital showcase gives readers a glimpse into what makes Hillsborough Township an amazing place to live, work, and visit. You can view the magazine on the Economic and Business Development Office Experience Hillsborough page. If you are a hiring business, and I'm a business owner, everyone's looking for help. It's tough to find people out there, as you saw, our own post of individuals looking for help. We have an answer to try and help. We are looking to have people register, and it's not too late for this week's job fair. The event will be held in the multi-purpose room from February 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Registration can be found on the HBA website, and flyers containing QR codes can be easily scanned in the hallway. So again, if you're a business looking for help, or if you are someone looking for a new job, encourage you to come to the fair. It is completely free. The engineering department has some tips for residents needing final engineering inspections in the winter months. If residential work such as additions, driveways, in-ground pools, etc., have recently been completed, it is recommended that the site inspection be scheduled as soon as possible. However, site inspections cannot be conducted if the area is covered with snow. If a resident requires a certification of occupancy and the final site inspection takes place in the presence of snow, but after this week, hopefully we'll no longer see it, the engineering department will be able to issue a temporary CO with a cash escrow deposit. In the spring, once the site work can be verified, a permanent CO can be issued and the cash escrow will be returned. And lastly, speaking of snow in our Public Works Department and the great men and women who work over there, between the snowstorms and the brutal wind, the weather has been grueling lately. Public Works is requesting that if you see any garbage or debris around storm drains in your street, please help clean it up. When recycling buckets and garbage cans tip over in the wind, the debris ends up in the storm drains and potential clogging issues increase. We are trying to prevent what we can with our crews, but still need some help. This will help prevent any flooding in your neighborhood if the storm drains are clean, so it's to your advantage. It's good if you do it yourself. But any efforts is appreciated to help keep the water flowing freely. That's it. All we got, Mayor.
Thank you, committeeman.
Clean your drains. That's the message.
Yep, it's every year. Deputy Mayor Payne.
So I think instead of ask the mayor from now on, we're going to go ask the tech of Sean. Is Zello or Zell the real?
Catherine, I heard GBT.
I heard GPT too. I wasn't going to go there.
I'm going to go learn about AI.
There's a class for that, yep.
From a guy named Al, or is that? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be fast. All right, so seriously though. All right, from the police department, residents are reminded to protect themselves from becoming victims of personal property and identity theft in the vehicles. Please keep your vehicles locked at all times. Remove your valuables, especially personal identity items. If you must leave your valuables in the car, lock them in the trunk or glove box to keep them out of sight. From the sustainability group, we have Celebrate Hillsborough's Film Community. Stop by the municipal building on March 1st from 2 to 4 for Shorts in Winter. This free event will showcase short films directed by Hillsborough residents, thrillers, dramas, documentaries, and more. Free snacks will be provided, so the whole thing is free. All films are 5 to 25 minutes long, and they're appropriate for ages 8 through adult. So you have to be 8 years old. Sorry, ladies. Some mature themes, language are present, and for more information, visit sustainablehillsborough.nj.gov. That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Easy peasy.
I have some remarks, starting with eyeglass collection. It's our pleasure to highlight an Eagle Scouts project, the project of Dean Milano, a 12th grade student at Hillsborough High School. He set up a project to collect eyeglasses for those in need. He's already collected 2,000 pairs of eyeglasses and has set up a collection box in the library's hallway to continue the effort. He'll deliver the glasses to a charity and then distribute them to those less fortunate and in need of glasses. And it's certainly a worthwhile project for the Eagle Scout. I might also mention you can go see the newly renovated library on your way to dropping off eyeglasses. On Saturday, I attended a Cub Scout Pinewood Derby. It was Troop 89. I think there was about 50 or 60 scouts that were from grades K through 5 participated along with their families. And I had the pleasure of starting one of the races, but it was really a good event because there were other scouts who were leading it, so it gives them team building skills and just a nice event. I remember back in the day, I can't remember the name of my car, but all their cars had names, and it's really advanced now. They do microchip on them, and it was pretty interesting to see what they did and the styles. I think the fastest one was a Cybertruck design, interestingly enough. But it was a fun event and fundraiser for the Scout for the Troop 89. Also, recently I attended the YMCA's campaign kickoff event at the Bridgewater Manor. This was the Greater Somerset County-wide MCA Volunteer Spirit Award, an annual campaign celebration, and was attended by teams from other area YMCAs, including Hillsborough. It was interesting to see a variety of volunteers. Our own township employees were there. There were other fellow mayors. The high school swim coach was there, and even a former colleague of mine I hadn't seen in like 5 years happened to be one of the benefactors of the Warren Hills YMCA. It was a rewarding event for all involved, as each of the YMCAs reported their success so far in 2025 of fundraising. So they're all about halfway to what their campaign was. So we wish them success, and we team with the YMCA a lot. And I think there's a resolution tonight that was mentioned that evening for the YMCAs. I mentioned the high school swim coach, so I happened to meet her. And then, as it happens, this weekend we ran into her. She's third from the right. So several members of the Township Committee, again, joined with student supporters, parents, alumni. I don't see the T-Rex out there, but there was a T-Rex. Wish them success at the NJII State Championships against Westfield. Again, while the send-off included a police escort, so we thank the Hillsborough Police Department for arranging that. And again, while the ultimate result wasn't what they wanted, they definitely were competing, and they were thrilled to be even just participating in such an event. They are the Group 4 sectional champs, and they have our congratulations on a very successful season. So again, just, well done. So while we're on sports, other sporting news, on the weekend of February 14th, Valentine's Day, I guess some people got to play Cupid. Iron Peak played host to the 56th Annual Archery Indoor Nationals and Junior Olympic Archery Development Indoor Nationals competition. Northeast Shooters Association was instrumental in bringing the Nationals to Hillsborough and managing the event. There were almost 300 participants, including several Olympic team hopeful members, those who have already qualified for spots for the summer Olympic team. We're proud to be the first Nationals event ever hosted in New Jersey, and we hope to be selected for future events. So, Hillsborough welcomed all the participants, and hopefully they got to see some of Hillsborough. I know the weather was a little suspect, but it was still exciting to have something related to the Olympics here in Hillsborough. Last week was Engineers Week, and last Saturday, in related topics, I met with the Robo-Raiders to see their current robot development firsthand and participate in an interview to support their submission for the First Impact Award. First Impact is an acronym for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. So we wish them success in this application. I sat down and did a little interview, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that was. But last week, again, was Engineers Week, during which industry professionals like myself shine a light on engineering and celebrate the difference engineers can make in the world. And the theme of the week was Design Your Future. The science department at the high school arranged for me to meet with STEM students on Tuesday, specifically their engineering class. They have an engineering class. They didn't have an engineering class when I was in high school. Physics and mechanical drawing in period 3 to attend, along with about 80 students. Oh, that's the next thing. Okay. So I went over my career, and my presentation was called "How Did I Get Here?" Meaning I'm the mayor, but I'm an engineer, and what, trying to inspire them with some stories on things that they can do, and hopefully help them how I kind of unintentionally designed my career to end up here, but end up in my career as well. We focused that engineering is an appealing career. It can align with any interests. It's really open to anyone. It is, a lot of people are creative problem solvers. If you are, consider it. Work in collaborative teams and really with inspiring people, and ultimately can make a difference in the world. One of the students at the end of it asked me to attend on Saturday the next event, which was a STEM fair, which is the photo up top. So high school students organized a group called STEM Fair, and the event was organized by those 8 students and focused on a variety of science displays by 5th to 8th graders. So the high school students ran it, but it was focused on the middle, Aughton Road, and the middle school. They provided a variety of topics, including magnetism, chemistry, psychology, actually, the influence of the color of food on whether you liked it or not. I think the pink cupcakes won. There were 2 students who studied road surface friction, and we look forward to more of these STEM fairs. This was the first one, so they're going to grow and learn from this. Winners included an AI chatbot, a young lady who developed an AI chatbot, the road friction ones, which was kind of relevant, interestingly enough, and then a kid who measured distance using an auto sonar. And then the last one was actually a student detecting Parkinson's using an MRI. And I think we've got a connection there. I couldn't believe what he was talking about, differential equations and stuff that he's in 8th grade. And I said, all right, that was college for me, but how advanced he was in that topic. So I know maybe we can put him in touch with our, when we sponsor for Parkinson's. It was very interesting. So it was a pretty STEM week for me as an engineer, so it was, kind of pays off and is satisfying from that perspective.
Got your geek on.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, got my engineering on. So New Jersey Motor Vehicle is coming to the municipal building on March 29th. The NJ MVC mobile unit is coming back to Hillsborough by popular demand. It will focus on issuing the real ID licenses and renewing vehicle registrations. While those services will require registration in advance, handicap placard acquisitions and license plate drop-offs won't need an appointment. Residents are encouraged to schedule appointments using the link at the Hillsborough Township website and in tomorrow's issue of the Mayor's e-News. These events fill up fast, so don't wait to register for your real ID appointment. That's sneaking up on us. Hillsborough is one of New Jersey's top destinations. This just came through the wire yesterday, I think. Hillsborough was chosen as one of JerseyBest.com's 2025 top 5 destinations of the year. In addition to the Sauerland Mountains and Duke Farms, the annual Rotary Fair, Flounder Brewing, Norris Hill Farm, and Roycebrook Golf Course were listed as just some of the reasons Hillsborough is an appealing destination. We always knew Hillsborough was a great place to live. Now it's a wonderful place to visit and spend the day for tourists. We have amazing parks, wide open spaces, and other dining options to please all palates. Ask the Mayor. The Township issued our second Ask the Mayor for this year, focused a brief update on 206 progress, as well as discuss the Brightspeed fiber optic infrastructure project, those little flags that a lot of people are seeing in their lawns. The utilities use those to mark out the location of their services before anybody starts digging. So I reached out to the engineering department for additional details, and you can review the video on Facebook or Hillsborough YouTube channel. So to stay connected, as always, you can stay connected with all events via Wednesday Mayor's e-News and Thursday's Experience Hillsborough Bulletin. Be sure to follow and like the official Hillsborough Township Facebook page, X, formerly known as Twitter, say it every time, and Instagram. Tune into the Hillsborough YouTube channel and sign up for Hillsborough Alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. So we have a couple proclamations tonight.
Mayor, if you don't mind, just for one quick second, I just wanted to recognize my very good friend, Joetta Clark-Diggs, who is in the picture there. She's a four-time Olympian. She just recently has now the USA American record for age 60 to 64. She just broke the record recently, the first time on the track in 25 years. So just wanted to recognize her this evening. So she's a big fan of Hillsborough. Thank you.
I can send her a note. So we have a couple proclamations, but first, want to know who knocked over something out in the hallway? I won't matter. I won't hold it against you. So, somebody knocked something out. No, I applaud that nobody ratted anybody out.
He wasn't kidding.
Someone bang and everybody stopped talking. It was. So are we doing Mike Mike's first. Is that what it was? Oh, okay. No damage. All right. So the Mighty Mites. Come on up. Come on up.
Yeah, they will know exactly what you mean.
Is it one at a time and then all of them? Come on, Mighty Mites. Just fill in both sides. Does one of you want to hold this? Who wants to hold this? Oh, you know, a couple of you can hold it. That's okay. Hold it up. You too?
Spread out this way. You know your lines. Your lines in front.
Ready? So the Hillsborough Dukes Mighty Mite cheer team. The 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes Mighty Mite cheerleading team are the Central Jersey champions, state champions, Eastern Region champions, and finished at 4th place in the Nationals. Well done. Most recently, the team placed second at the Youth Cheer and Dance Alliance Global's competition on February 7th in Atlantic City. The 2024 Hillsborough Dukes Mighty Mite cheerleading team consists of the following young athletes and coaches. You guys ready to take the mic? You can take the mic and pass it. Just say your name.
Lily. Zariah. Mia. Layla. Gigi. What was I supposed to say my real name? Emily. Reese. Harper. Mackenzie. Riel. Reagan. Habley. Brooke. Loa. Julie.
Well done. Do the coaches want to? No? Will one of you say something? All right. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes Mighty Mite cheerleading team, coaches, and parents, not only for their successful season, but for the hard work, dedication, and commitment to the sport and to those principles of good sportsmanship, teamwork, and academic achievement which the organization endorses.
Hi, I'm Coach Allison. We just wanted to thank the Township Committee for recognizing the girls at this meeting, and thank you to everybody here for your support.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? All right. Victory formation and picture formation. Does anybody want to?
You should all ask for ice cream tonight.
Thank you so much.
They all get their own. You all get your own. You can give that to a coach if you want. Your coach has, every one of you gets one. We have one for each of you. Thank you, sir. I figured this out. All right, the Pee Wee. All right, Pee Wee. Somebody want to hold up the proclamation while we do this?
I do.
Oh, that was quick. Wham. You can share it. Okay, the Hillsborough Dukes Pee Wee cheer team. The 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes Pee Wee cheerleading team are the Central Jersey champions, state champions, and Eastern Region champions. They also finished second place at the Nationals and were the D12 category and division champions at the Youth Cheer and Dance Alliance Globals. Well done again. The 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes Pee Wee cheerleading team consists of the following young athletes and coaches.
Angelina, Kylie, Carissa, Hannah, Gracie, Tori, Magnolia, Sammy, Zoe, Sophie, Gabby, Ava,
Nailani,
Adelise, Allie, Olivia, Addison, Sydney.
You want to say your name, Izzy? Izzy. You guys want to say your name? Okay, I'm Coach Alexis. Hi. Thank you to Coach Abby, Coach Jen, and Coach Kelly for everything. Thank you to the committee and the mayor for having us here today. So proud of you girls, and thank you everyone for coming here to support us. So.
I'm going to read it now, though. All right, we'll do it one more time. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the township committee, do hereby commend the 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes Pee Wee cheerleading team, coaches and parents, not only for their successful season, but for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the sport, and to those principles of good sportsmanship, teamwork, and academic achievement which the organization endorses. Congratulations again.
Mary, you get down any further, you're not going to be able to get up. Yeah, all right. Can't do it.
Really gonna do all day, everybody? Okay. All right. What's that? I know. Well, it's all right. It's part of it. All right. Dukes JV. Anybody who hasn't come up already? Oh, so you came right to the front.
See, I'm special.
You gotta stand in front, though.
Yeah, I got it. Natural.
Yeah. You can be coaching the younger ones. And just well, they'll say it. They can run it. All right. Hillsborough Dukes JV cheer team. The 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes JV cheerleading team are the national champions outscoring 411 teams from across the nation, and national grand champions. They are also the Central Jersey champions, Eastern Region champions, and state champions. Most recently, the team placed second at the Youth Cheer and Dance Alliance Global Competition on February 9th in Atlantic City. The 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes JV cheerleading team consists of the following young athletes and coaches.
Lily, Lexi, Abby, Callie, Bailey, Riley, Madison, Callie, Sophia, Demi, Layla, Elizabeth, Gabby, Evie,
Madison,
Alexa.
Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and the Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the 2024-2025 Hillsborough Dukes JV cheerleading team, coaches, and parents, not only for their successful season, but for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the sport, and to those principles of good sportsmanship, teamwork, and academic achievement which the organization endorses. Congratulations. Yes, please.
All right, so I'm Coach Kelly, and I just want to thank all the girls, all right, for bringing home multiple local championships, multiple state championships, multiple all the championships, multiple, and bring it home, and for this team for bringing home the 4th national championship back to your town of Hillsborough, all right? So all you girls deserve one big thank you.
Any other coaches? Picture formation. Hey.
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh.
I got it, guys.
Sorry, we got one for you.
One more. Ready, go, and then hold on.
All right. So, do we want one for everybody? All right, cheerleaders, come on up. All of them. What? All of them. It's going to be a mob scene. You don't want Yeah, I didn't see it.
On the what? Oh, that's such a good idea. Everybody nailed that.
Don't take a picture of that.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
God, they're all hitting you up for ice cream now.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 2-minute break, so nice job, girls. Nice job, cheerleaders. All right, let's get back on the record. Oh, we need Sarah. All right. Oh. Maybe? Give her a second. Yeah. All right, back in the meeting. We're going to address consent agenda items 1 through 10. Does anybody want to take these out of order, or separately, I should say? If not, okay, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 10?
So moved.
Second?
Any comments from the dais on items 1 through 10?
I do. So as we had a lot of back and forth on some of the consent agendas, and I do process management for a living, data is like my friend, and I know I drive you guys all nuts sometimes with questions, but it's because I feel like we still don't have the right rhythm with some of these sometimes, and details matter. And if we could just kind of make a note to get a little bit of a handle on that.
Are you talking in general or any particular item?
Well, in general and particular, but I mean, I'm just keeping it general also, right? There's sometimes, if we're moving money and things like that, that's pretty straightforward. But when there's people movements and title movements and things like that, explanations help. Context helps. That's all.
Understood. Any other comments?
I have questions. Did you have any
I'm
others?
done.
Okay. I had a question on number 5. That was the Woodfield Park. It said construction and rehabilitation of the loop, and I know that's an application for a grant. Do we know, are they constructing new sidewalk, or was it just rehabilitation? Because it said both. So just clarification on that. And I know the grant was for $25,000. We would be responsible for the rest. So do we have an estimate on what is happening and what the cost would be? Number 5.
Yeah, so you're correct, it's $25,000, and if we got the grant for $25,000, that's what we would be spending. So, and speaking with some of the folks today, for that grant, if we were fortunate enough to get it, we'd look at some of the rehabilitation, and if there was enough money to actually put some new sidewalk down as well if needed in that loop. So it just really depends on the cost at that point and what we can do. So we're not going to spend more than the grant money that we would get.
Right, it says AARP may offer a lesser
Right.
amount, so it depends.
Yeah, so
once
we
get it.
put in
For the maximum.
enormous amount of grants through the township, so we're hopeful to get whatever amount of money we will get, we will spend, and rehabilitate and put new where we need, and that would be up to engineering and working with the various departments to make sure that whatever we could do, the best we can with that.
I could tell you, probably would not cover the entire project.
No.
All right, so just to clarify, there wasn't a plan and we were applying to the money. We're applying to the money and we will repair whatever we can with the money we receive,
If we even get it, right?
if we get it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. And then I had a question on number 7, and this is going to be a callback to our,
Before we move on, I think, did you slip in a comment that said there wasn't a plan?
I was trying to clarify what Administrator Ferreira had said.
Right.
My question was, is there a plan? How much will it cost? Administrator Ferreira, which I believe I summarized correctly, said it's not as if there is a specific plan on this needs to be constructed or repaired. It's a matter of whatever funds we get would be applied towards that walking loop. There
Right.
wasn't new construction, which is what I was trying to clarify from
I believe
the
that's correct.
wording of the ordinance.
And did that go through the engineering department?
I think with engineering and also with planning and zoning, I think with this one, it might have also been Samantha Ball. I'm not sure because my plan director's there. I'm not sure with this specific one.
All right, we'll have to
Like
look
I
into
said, we
that.
have an
Let's check
enormous
it
amount of grants that each department puts through.
Understood,
All
but
right.
the point, there was not like a map or a proposal. That's why I was trying to clarify. All right. Mayor, anything else on that?
No,
All right. So then on number 7, my question is, and this is a callback to our meeting 2 weeks ago regarding the salary ordinance. We had on the salary ordinance that was approved by this committee, we had on page 3 of the salary ordinance, and I printed it for myself, we had a director, Parks, Recreation, and Social Services. There was a director of Recreation, a director of Social Services, a director of Parks. Director of Parks and Rec was redlined from this salary ordinance, and we are appointing somebody, or there was a proposal, this resolution to appoint someone to a position with the title Director of Parks and Rec. And I think the public should have an explanation.
What is the question? I'm not sure you understand what the question
That
is.
position was redlined off of the salary ordinance. And 2 weeks later, we're appointing someone with that title.
I'm just pulling it up.
I know that they got, it was Parks, Rec, and Social Services, and then they broke it down to, I don't have it in front of me, Director of Parks, and maybe Director of Rec, but doesn't mean they couldn't be both.
So I'm getting,
What is,
Again,
what does
I
it say exactly?
actually have it in front of me.
Mhm.
I'm reading just those couple line items.
Mhm.
So there is a Director of Parks, Rec, and Social Services. That's a range of 55 to 135.
Was that redlined?
It is not.
Okay.
There's Director of Recreation. It's 55 to 120.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Director of Social Services, 55 to 120. There's a Director of Parks, 55 to 120. And then redlined, or it's actually in black font, it says Director, Parks and Rec, 55 to 105, and it is marked through. It was stricken from the salary ordinance. And it's in Civic Clerk, if you guys just want to pop into the meeting from 2 weeks ago.
we'll have to look into it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. I guess you'll have to do some research on that. Was there anything subsequent to that?
It doesn't change anything, though, so I'm wondering where your question's coming from, the intent.
So my question is that
What's
this
the
was-
intent, is the question, of the question.
And that's directed at me?
Mhm.
Okay, so, again, this was stricken off, and the salary range was 55 to 105. We have someone there's a resolution to appoint someone with that title at 105.5, so above the maximum that had been in the position prior. So again, my issue is not with the person, but help, the public understand what are we doing? I think they deserve some sort of an explanation. Again, and how are we appointing someone with at a salary of 105.5 for Director of Parks and Rec when there is already somebody with the title of Director of Parks, Rec, and Social Services?
Mr. Ferrer, can you explain to Ms. Hand, Committeewoman Hand, how it's being broken up?
Or, to the public.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but there's
think that's
nothing
going to have
nefarious
to be,
here. You're
I
making
think,
it-
even with
making
Bill
it
here
seem-
too, I think it's going to have to be amended, because I'm not sure how that was changed, because obviously it's out of the range of 105.5, so it's going to have to be amended, right, Bill? If it's a salary,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure where that.
I don't have it's not on tonight, so I don't have the salary ordinance in front of me.
Yeah.
Would you like it?
Yeah, please.
Doesn't want to touch it.
Should be direct.
Actually, you have two positions listed, one for Director of Recreation and one Director of Parks. So the salary range for that particular title would be anywhere between 55 and 120 for each position. As you know, sometimes you guys do appoint two people to one position, and you combine the salary of that. I don't know if that's what you're doing. I don't know why, though, specifically, if we have a position of Director of Parks and Recs and it's one position, that was crossed out. I don't know the reasoning behind that. But traditionally, Director of Rec, Director of Parks, you guys have combined positions
Right.
before, and then appointed somebody as long as they were within the combined salary range.
So I think we're okay for this evening, because it's still Director of Parks and Recreation. Would that be correct, Bill? It's still within that, it's under that 120?
Oh, yes, definitely, because you have for each position 55 to 120, but you're appointing one person to do both positions, similar to the clerk. Sarah has different responsibilities. You'll have, you don't call her the clerk. There's different positions that she occupies, so all those positions are listed in the salary ordinance, but she may be doing three of those positions, but she only gets one salary. She doesn't get three different salaries based upon that. She gets one salary that fall on all three of those.
Okay.
Get allocated to each three of those positions.
Yeah, I just want to make sure before the vote tonight that they can,
Yes.
If we're talking about the stricken part, there is a generic director position. If we want to amend this resolution
right.
to just call him a director, because that exists in the salary ordinance, we can do that. And then we
Yeah, I
can
think that.
Mr. Willow, do we even need to do
clean
that?
that up later.
As long as it falls within the salary ranges, you're fine. As long as you have one position for Director of Rec and one position for Director of Parks, and you're appointing one person to that position,
Right.
and he's going to assume the title of both and combine it's within those ranges, that's perfectly acceptable.
Okay, I just want to confirm that, and we'll check on where that was stricken. I'm not sure why, where.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. So that was very helpful. Thank you, Attorney Willard. So my question is, can two people have the same position? Because it is my understanding that Bob Wagner is Director of Parks, Recreation, and Social Services, and now this resolution was appointing somebody else to Director of Parks and Rec. So
Yeah, I think.
again, I think the public needs
Yeah,
an
I think
explanation.
Committeeman Lapani had sent that email to you, that Mr. Wagner is going to be Director of Social Services, and Mr. Dunn, as of March 1st, will be the Director of Parks and Rec, so that two people not be having the same position.
Do we have a resolution, though, for Bob Wagner?
Bob
having
Wagner's currently the Director of Social Services, so that's his position already.
And to
So-
amend his title from Director of Parks, Recreation, and Social Services, just to Director of Social Services, still at the same salary. Do we need a resolution for that? Attorney Willard?
I don't know what the prior resolution said, so without knowing what the prior resolution says regarding his appointments, I don't know.
Yeah, because that position already exists today as a director, because it's all broken down into three. So,
But I'll leave it to Mr. Ferrer. My understanding of the plan is that Bob Wagner has certain positions, Park, Rec, Social Services, and the plan is to move him into Social Services and other positions, and to elevate Mr. Dunn to the position of Director in Parks, who he's been working under Mr. Wagner for quite some period of time. And so they're looking to move him up to Director of Parks and Rec and move Bob over to assume some different titles. Is that correct?
And he's going to still maintain that same title he has today. As
Okay.
he's still the Director of Social Services. That's not changing.
His scope was just decreasing.
For today, yes.
Maybe in title, but social services is doing pretty well. There's a significant growth in the town, and social services has been becoming a pretty big component, so.
Tonight's debate.
So,
We can't just say
yeah.
that.
Today's
This is-
debate is about promoting Griffin.
I know, this is about, yeah, so.
Anything else? Any other items on the agenda?
Yeah, I had one other question. And it was around. Sorry, one of these change numbers. And then it was just around number 8, and this had to do with Bob Wagner, appointing him as Deputy Director Coordinator. Any commentary on that, Mayor?
Uh,
I
Does
can
the
help
Personnel
that.
Committee want to
Yeah,
address that?
so with Mr. Wagner's movement over to social services and adding OEM under the umbrella of his oversight, we did have a vacated deputy spot available, and social services and OEM work very closely together during emergencies, aka Ida, Sandy, snowstorms, any sort of emergency. So they usually both show up at the same time. We needed, that spot was vacated because of the term had expired and wasn't renewed by the person prior. It's a one-year term. So we felt it's good to have Bob as a deputy because he does respond, and we would also need some coverage in case Mr. Sheridan or someone else wasn't here to drive the command bus. He would be able to do that, so that's part of his responsibility. So again, the deputies are there to help backfill a need when a certain situation may arise. If someone may not be able to respond, it could be on vacation. It has happened before. Mr. Sheridan has been out of town on vacation. We've had a need for OEM to respond, and we've had to have one of our deputies fill in. So it's a one-year appointment. It covers a $1,000 stipend because they will be working outside normal business hours. They have to be available 24/7, as Mr. Sheridan is, and the other people on that chart also receive that same $1,000.
All right, and last question, just because we're talking about Mr. Wagner. So on this, if his title is changing just to Director of Social Services, I believe his salary is $121. The max on that is $120. So if you can add that to the list of things that we would want to look into and make sure it's corrected for the public for the next meeting.
Yeah, we'll work with the CFO and HR, absolutely. And the clerk.
No other questions on the consent agenda from me.
Okay, any other comments from the dais?
Mayor, I just wanted to welcome on consent number 1, Joseph Desmond, for part-time senior engineer. Wanted to welcome him, and also to congratulate again Griffin Dunn, who is, as they say in sports, part of the farm system. He's been here a long time, and we're very happy with succession planning, to move him up. So just wanted to mention those two.
I'd like
Thank
to just say too, Mr. Ferrer, sorry to interrupt you, but I think this is a great move for Hillsborough Township. Recreation is an area that's growing, and we need somebody who's really engaged. And Griffin is somebody who is perfect for that role, and just very proud of all the work that he's done. And Mr. Wagner as well too is perfect for social services. There's a lot of work that goes into social services, making sure the CAN moves incredibly well to help people in need, and now with this OEM opportunity as well too, I think he's the perfect person for it. So this is the right move for Hillsborough Township. So I'm glad to have this here today.
I just want to add on to that also. I think Griffin, not only does he get Hillsborough and our people so well,
Yep.
but he has such a really awesome vision for where he sees us going in the future, and I think that's super important for that role. Conversely, I think Bob will bring a lot, Mr. Wagner, will bring a lot of much-needed oversight and new ideation to that group over in social services with more focus there.
Yeah, again, we're all very excited for Griffin. He's been doing a wonderful job, so this was not about him personally, but making sure that our information and our financial information is organized, because it is not just my checkbook, it is all of your checkbooks as well. So we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on it for you, so.
And we're all
thanks so
very
much.
much aware of that, and we all do the same thing, so we all feel the same way.
Yeah, Griffin, I remember Griffin, even when I was president of the soccer club, being an instrumental part in organizing things with Croson, John Croson from the Fields, and Bob Wagner. So, yeah, Griffin's been part of the team, if you will, for a long time. Actually, number 10, where we're authorizing execution of a municipal certification for Somerset County, that's something where we're endorsing Somerset County's YMCA's submittal of a grant that will allow second graders from Manville to use the YMCA here in Hillsborough. It's really part of the grant through the YMCA process. They have to come to the municipality in which the YMCA operates to get our endorsement. So that was something that also came out of that visit to the YMCA kickoff. I think it shows that we're cooperating with goodwill and collaborative cooperation to serve this local institution, as well as our neighbors in Manville who don't have the same infrastructure or can't provide that service in Manville. We're helping to provide it for them. So we work a lot with the Y. So I'm happy that we're endorsing that. So with that, are there any comments from the floor on the consent agenda items? If not, can I get a roll call, please?
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lahani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes, thank you. Next item is public hearings. So we have a public hearing for the ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance amending Chapter 188, Land Use and Development, Article 1, titled Purpose, Definition, Section 188-3, Words and Terms Defined, and Article 5, Districts and Standards, Section 188-107.1, LI, Light Industrial District of the Code of the Township of Hillsborough, Somerset County, New Jersey. May I have a motion to open the
So
public
moved.
hearing?
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes. So any comments from the dais? I'm assuming the dais includes Mr. Planner?
Mr. Planner.
Mr.
Mr.
If you notice that David Coyce has joined us on the dais, he's our planner.
Mr. Planner.
Hi, David.
Good evening. Hi.
So any comments from the dais?
I'll defer to Mr. Coyce.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Township Committee, and general public, and those watching from home. Please be advised that the Hillsborough Township Planning Board reviewed Ordinance 2025-02 at the January 23rd, 2025 meeting. The board concluded that the proposed amendment is consistent with the Township Master Plan. Just to give a little overview of the ordinance adds a definition for small-scale logistic facilities and modifies the definition of industrial or office park. It also modifies the LI Light Industrial District to include small-scale logistic facilities as a principal permitted use, reduce the maximum building height, and add a maximum building size requirement, add a maximum number of permitted loading docks, change the industrial office park from a use to a design standard with special requirements, and it addresses non-conforming structures. Just a general overview. This is also related to a settlement agreement that the Township Committee has with Larkin Associates.
Mayor, we've had discussions regarding this in an executive session. As anybody who's been following along in the public, there was a proliferation of warehouse applications coming to the township. The township was concerned about large-scale warehousing in the municipality, and an ordinance was adopted to remove as a permitted use these large-scale warehouses. Well, some other businesses in the meantime were affected by that particular ordinance. In particular, there was some in this particular zone, in the light industrial zone, there was some flex space warehousing by Larkin Associates. They had a number of facilities there, and we made a commitment to them to look at our ordinance to see if we could accommodate what was currently going on in their current uses in that particular, and still hold to our belief that we want to prohibit large-scale warehousing in these particular zones. So Mr. Coyce worked with their planner, and we also worked with the attorneys and the planners, and Mr. Coyce and the planners were able to come up with this that we presented. So this limits the size of those facilities to 41,000 square feet. It limits the building heights to 35 feet, and that comports with what's already there. That comports with the uses and what's already there. So the Larkin Associates are satisfied because now their properties would be permitted uses in the zone instead of previous non-conforming uses in the zone. So that was the purpose of the ordinance, and I think we've accomplished that in accordance with the settlement agreement.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coyce. Thank you, Mr. Willard. Any other comments from the dais? If not, let's take comments from the floor. State your name and address. Is that the usual?
Do I do that? Good evening, Mr. Mayor and committee. Thank you for having me. My name is Brian Tarantino. I live on Fairfield Lane, and I'm very interested in providing a few comments about this proposed ordinance. Back in 2023, there was a developer that applied to build I think it was about 180,000 square foot warehouse. To subdivide the property on the corner of Homestead and 206 and build a 188,000 square foot warehouse building. There's more to the story about the completeness and all that, but the bottom line was their interest was to build that size of a warehouse. And so when I look at this, I want to make sure that we're good, that this is going to take care of and prevent that kind of development going forward. And it does, and I think it's great. I think the building height limit is excellent. That really takes care of this high cube warehouse use. The number of loading docks is also appropriate. I have two pretty small comments, if I may. The first one is the 41,000 square foot per lot is good, except that if a developer wanted to come in and subdivide, for instance, that piece of property, instead of into 2 lots, maybe they want to subdivide it into 6 lots. There'd be plenty of acreage, and we wouldn't want them to be able to put 6 41,000 square foot buildings on that subdivided property. So my suggestion, and I have it redlined here, if you'd like a copy, is to just add a parenthetical after the words 41,000 square feet of gross floor area per lot prior to any subdivision of the lot. And I believe that would help prevent a developer from taking a larger piece of property like there is one there and ending up building 4 41,000 square foot buildings. My last comment is in looking at, also in the definition of small-scale logistics, there's one term that I think is an issue, and that is the term cross-docking. So to explicitly permit cross-docking. Now, cross-docking, if you don't know, is a use of it allows a fairly small size building to have a very high throughput of trucks, because trucks pull in one side, trucks pull out the other side. You don't need a large square foot storage space because material is taken from one truck and moved to another truck. And it ends up generating quite a number of truck trips. And it's really, the size of the building is only an indicator of the number of trucks that we would likely get. And cross-docking is a use that would generate quite a number of trucks. So my suggestion, my comment is to cross out that word cross-docking so that we're not explicitly permitting that kind of use in the future. So if anyone's interested in seeing a copy of this pretty modest two comments, I'd be happy to.
Brian, Mr. Coyce, I believe you answered at least the first question at the planning board meeting regarding the size of the lots and how they would be subject to the normal codes for that zone. So if you could expand on that or reiterate what your comments back from the planning board for at least the first item.
Correct. So there is still a minimum lot size that would still is currently exists and fully enforceable. So someone would still have to follow that or request a variance in order to do so. And all of the existing minimum lot is already there in that the Larkin facilities or any of the other facilities that are there currently conform to those minimum lot standards. And so in order for someone to subdivide it, they still have to follow that standard, but they wouldn't be able to build a building any larger than 41,000 square feet.
But so if they had the space, so they say there was a 25-acre site and they subdivided into two 12.5-acre lots, that would definitely meet the minimum lot size. Could they build two 41,000 square foot buildings, one on each?
Yes.
So I'm concerned, that's actually exactly my comment. So I'm concerned that would allow a piece of property to be made into what would be equivalent of, if they did that 4 times, equivalent of 164,000 square feet of warehouse space.
The intent of the ordinance is to look at what is existing, and in that entire LI district, specifically what Larkin owns and some of the properties that are around there, it was built as a small industrial park, essentially, especially to today's standards. And again, the intent of this ordinance is to take everything that's currently there and to make sure that it's conforming. And if anything, in terms of any of the vacant land within the LI district, if anything was to be built there following this, it would be a continuation of that small scale industrial park with protections in terms of limiting the size and scale of the development. And so the protections that are in there include the height, the maximum height, and all the other things that Attorney Willard had gone over as well. So the maximum loading docks and all those sort of things to try to keep basically what we've come up with, a small scale logistics facility.
Right.
So actually, to specifically answer your question, so you're correct in that what you see in the Larkin properties could be expanded into the undeveloped properties, so that in fact could happen. And we understand that you might not be in favor of that, but all we're trying to do is allow what's existing there to exist, and those existing uses, if it expands onto other properties, to also be permitted. We understand that you might not agree with that, but that's what would occur.
And also, just to add, if someone wanted to do a use, any of the other permitted uses, such as, say, manufacturing or contractor facility or any of the other permitted uses in the zone, they could go larger than 41,000. The 41,000 is specifically the limit for small-scale logistics.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
And, yeah, I mean, that's my comment, is that I think that it is, I understand that you're trying to accommodate an existing use, and that's, that makes sense. And I don't think the existing operations there. I don't live far from there, so it's not a big deal. But the bottom line is that it would still, with just some subdivision activity, which is definitely allowable, it would allow proliferation of warehouse space in Hillsborough, which I don't think is the intent of. But
We don't allow warehouse space in Hillsborough. So,
Okay.
just to be clear. Mr. Coyce, regarding cross-docking, from what I understand, having been in some of those Larkin properties, it already exists.
Correct.
Maybe not as a use, but there's a door on both sides,
Correct.
right? So I don't know if that, I don't recall addressing cross-docking at the planning board meeting, but that's all I can recall is that the current, I don't know if that constitutes a use, cross-docking, or if it's actually just a thank you, yeah, a byproduct of how it's built, of the design. So I don't know if you have any comment on that suggestion or not, but it is also, if we were to strike it, it would be an issue with the existing buildings.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Again, Mayor, if I may.
sure, please.
Again, the idea is that you have all these different existing uses that are there on a small scale. And the attempt is to try to make all of those uses that are currently there to make them conforming.
Sure.
And again, my understanding is, prior to the concerns with the large-scale warehousing, in the time that I've been working here, especially the Hillsborough Business Center and some of the other modest industrial areas, they've been an important part of the community and the economics of the community as rateables, as places that are providing spaces for entrepreneurs, small businesses, especially startups and things like that. And again, everything that we intended to do is to really focus in on the size and scale and having those limits be there, despite some of those functions that are happening, but again, at a very small scale compared to the concerns as it relates to large-scale warehousing.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Mr. Tarantino. Thank you. Any other comments from the floor on the public hearing?
David Brook, Winding Way. I want to echo my support for what Mr. Tarantino has said. There is a concern that the intent could be abused if not carefully monitored as it relates to how these new ones would be permitted, right? That's the bigger concern. The existing facility on the one side of Homestead Road is not going to see a lot of change. The vacant land is the bigger concern that I know we have. And as Mr. Willard stated, look, public sentiment towards large-scale, I will call inappropriately placed warehouses has hopefully been clearly demonstrated not only to you folks, but also to the planning board. And I want to at least make sure that the intent and the reality follow through with regards to the adoption of the ordinance. And that's the concern that I also have about the possible subdivision, because so long as the end result does not, for example, 5 smaller warehouses at 41,000 square feet could have the same impact on Homestead Road and on the other areas of town as one larger one. We're going to increase truck traffic, we're going to increase noise, we're going to increase pollution. And as all of you are aware, Homestead Road is not exactly the best location for doing any of that. Excuse me. So that's the part that I think I'm most concerned about, is the vacant land and the potential for that happening. The existing area, not that big a deal. As you haven't really mentioned, the litigation continues in this matter. There are multiple parties that are involved. And I'm also a little bit concerned about how that is going to be resolved, simply because of the fact that, look, compromise is good when it comes to certain things, and maybe the Larkin component of the litigation being settled out is good, maybe, because now we've come to a more reasonable approach. The problem that I see is the litigation is continuing, and I'm hoping that we don't find ourselves compromising away with other components for the other litigants that are involved in the matter before the township. So I just simply mention that because the goal here is obviously to develop the community in a way that's beneficial and not creates huge burdens, particularly on the town center. As I'm sure you're all aware, there is this proposal on Homestead Road that could do exactly that. So that's the concern. Those folks on Homestead Road are part of the litigation that continues. And I'm hoping we're taking a very aggressive stance to make sure that there isn't that opportunity for those folks to work some deal out on the TECD zone. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? If not, can I have a motion to close and adopt ordinance 25-02?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes, and thank you for the feedback.
Committeeman Lapani?
As someone who's sit through numerous applications, and me and the mayor about the sensitivity of the issues, I think this, first of all, takes a piece of property that is the largest taxpayer in Hillsborough and protects that for the ratables for the township to keep our tax flow burden on the homeowner at minimal as we can. But also, as we said, this is a area that generates a lot of young, new businesses, entrepreneurs, and is, I think, a very good asset for the town. As far as the other litigations, most of those are looking for the big ones, and I don't think those will get far, but for this application and this lawsuit and this site, I think this is a very good restructuring of the ordinance. 41,000 square feet at the loading docks per 5,000 square feet. We've gone for nauseum how many loading docks can get in a warehouse, Mr. Tarantino, but that would only allow them 8, which we know that's not what they want. They want 30, right? So I think that we've got some good cover here, and I say yes. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yeah, and for the record, we do not allow warehouses in that zone. So the buildings are not warehouses, if they are that size. Yes. All right. Introduction of new ordinances. We're going to introduce an ordinance 25-04, ordinance to exceed the 2025 municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Further consideration and a public hearing will be held on March 25th, 2025. Do I have to read the whole thing there?
Nope.
Or is it
Nope,
just the introduction, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
So,
There's just introduction, no discussion.
thank you.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes. Claims list. May I have a motion to approve the claims list 2025-04?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the dais on the claims list? All right. Any comments from the floor on the claims list? Seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes. No new business, so let's go to public comments for matters not on the agenda. Ms. Brake, please read the statement regarding public comment.
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Reverend Rod Williams of 101 Everett Close, and I stand before you for just a few moments to share a few thoughts that I hope and pray will be received in the spirit in which they are delivered, a spirit of humanity for all. Too many divisive forces grip our nation, threatening our sense of community. Community was the foundation of One Hillsborough and remains our core mission as reflected in our name. I'm speaking up tonight because I believe the solution to divisive rhetoric is recognizing that differences like those over political views, gender, ethnicity, and status are insignificant compared to the realization of our shared humanity. Every faith calls us to treat others as we wish to be treated, yet we're all being led to demonize our differences instead of embracing our common bond as one human race on the same planet. I could not stay silent and miss the opportunity to encourage us to resist the temptation to allow the sordid influences that would insist we ignore our lived truth that we've been so much better off in this township when we celebrate our variety. That's diversity. When we see each other as deserving of the same equal amounts of respect, dignity, and opportunity. That's equity. And when we invite each other to participate in the process by getting to know each other by talking to one another. That's inclusion. And didn't we see a wonderful example of DEI in those young girls tonight? My brothers and sisters, regardless of our disagreements in process and principle, my experiences with each of you have never left me feeling disrespected, hated, or unwelcome, just as I've never felt those sentiments toward you. With that in mind, I implore you to embrace this one woke moment, remembering that the opposite of awake is asleep. When we choose to remain asleep, we're both powerless over our own condition and blind to the struggles of others. The only beneficiaries of anti-woke rhetoric are those who fear an awakened public, those who distract us with division while amassing obscene wealth as if unchecked capitalism ever prioritized sharing or justice. So on this day in the month that reminds us that without Black history, there is no American history, I urge you to have the courage to acknowledge that this nation's true greatness arose from the contributions of all of its people, and its ruin is fostered and even accelerated by denying its past mistakes instead of confronting and learning from them. We're not enemies because we have all different views, and we're not better off when we ignore the condition of our neighbors by denying their humanity. Hillsborough is our home, and this township can be its best by striving to set an example for the world to follow. Thank you.
Thank you for those.
May I just say?
Thank you for those nice words.
Yeah, Reverend, thank you for that. I really do appreciate that very much.
Any other comments?
Joseph P. Maloney, 27 Stonewick Drive, Hillsborough, New Jersey, 08844-2615. I'm here basically to dovetail on Sean Lapani's comments concerning cleaning your storm drain. Recently, September 15th, it started to rain. In front of my property is my storm drain, as well as across the street is another storm drain. I have about 9 35-foot pine trees that are adjacent to the road. I thought I was doing a good job by going out there and raking every day, because I know once those pine cones get in, they could block up the system. What I didn't know is that the sewer across the street runs directly into mine. I learned that on Sunday morning when a neighbor called and said he was calling the police because Stonewick Drive was flooded. So I basically went out. My sewer grate is a closed one because of all the pine needles, etc., pine cones that fall in there. What I didn't know was the other one is a wide open one. Long story short, I want to sing the praises to Police Officer Brian, I want to say it right, Dianozio-Chi-Cow. How's that? Not bad. Okay? He showed up within 5 minutes of that telephone call. I met him in about 4 inches of water in the middle of the street. I also want to sing the praises of the two Public Works employees that showed up. That would be Dan Davenport, supervisor, and his partner in crime, Fred Tenor. They were with me on and off. I had to run back inside. It was too cold and it started to rain to make matters worse. They were on Stonewick Drive, basically from about 11:30 until 6 o'clock at night, attempting to clear out the drain. What I'm asking here for, unfortunately, they weren't able to do it. They didn't have the proper equipment, to be honest with you. They attempted to snake it out, got about 25 feet clogged. Then they brought a 5-horsepower double intake pump with hoses to drain it out to Ashwood Drive, neighboring street. Hoses weren't long enough. They were only draining about 5 gallons a minute. When I'm looking at about 10,000 gallons of water over a 200-foot area. What I'm asking for the Township Committee is that we purchase a jetter vac. Familiar with the equipment? It could have easily cleaned up that entire street within an hour. I don't look at it as a cost. I look at it as a long-term investment. Not only will it clean up clogs, it'll clean out ditches. It's very useful, and this is for your next capital budget, okay? So when that comes up, I will be back to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the extension.
Didn't they bring one in from a neighboring town, the jet vac, to eventually clean it?
No.
No? I thought they did. Okay.
No, they were talking about it, but then they'd have to
Yeah, I was wondering why the road was closed. I'm like, that's not a familiar place that floods when rivers rise, so.
4 feet above sea level.
Yeah, okay.
And in fact, I'm on a hill, so the water was above the sidewalk where I live.
All right, well, thanks for mentioning those names. We'll maybe give those guys some high fives. Any other comments from the floor?
David Brook, Winding Way. I can't help but ask, who decided 3 minutes is the time for public comment? And who decided to broadcast the times up on the screens? Because honestly, it's not appropriate. It's intimidating to certain people. And I don't know where 3 minutes came from. My thought would be, if you have a room that has 5 people in it, you have no time limit unless you're all in a hurry to go home, and I'm sure that's not the case. And I only ask because 3 minutes is an arbitrary time, 5 minutes might be better, or no time might be better. I advocate for flexible time limits based upon what people are saying and how it can help all of you make better decisions. So when you set a time limit like that, it's inappropriate. And so I only ask you to think about that. I won't ask for a podium tonight, but I will say that having a police officer who's not a police officer enforcing time limits is just really not a nice way to have a friendly meeting. So I would ask you to change it or address it in some way so that the public is encouraged to come here, not intimidated by the time limits. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other comment? Nope. Okay. You turned it on.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hold on, I need a motion to adjourn.
You just said.
You got it.
I'm running the meeting.
You got it, Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor? Or do we need a roll call?
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Deputy
Good night,
Mayor
everybody.
Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
And that transgression, I'm going to make you wait another 5 seconds. Okay, yes. Meeting is adjourned at 9:12, 9:10. Thank you.